All right. So, the new information came out about the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Series X. Microsoft, I love you, but come on. Get a better name. I'm perfectly fine. I was perfectly fine with Project Scorpio. I was perfectly fine with I have all these cool names. I think Crimson was the one for Series X. I was fine with that. Just call it Xbox Crimson. Perfectly fine. Make the fucker red. Oh, dude, that'd be so awesome. Anyway, new information came out on both of the consoles recently, and well, they're really similar. Kind of what I thought they'd be. Let me read these to you. So I have actually, I'm getting these off of two separate articles. The information I'm about to give you, I'm getting from two separate articles, both of which I will put in the description box below, one of which from The Verge and the other which is from the Windows Central. Because I wanted to go into a little bit of a topic for you guys. And I'm probably going to be reading verbatim from the article, which is why I'm putting the links down below. Okay, so Xbox came out first, or Microsoft announced their stuff first. And what it is the Series X is going to have a AMD Zen 2 3.5 or 3.8 gigahertz 8-core processor, which is actually really good. If you look at it compared to PC standards, it's actually not that bad. I'm a little on the fact that they went AMD, but it's honestly, it's whatever. It's a console. It's not like you can swap parts out for it. I mean, I go with Intel. I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, overall, not bad. It is going to have, excuse me, I'm sorry. AMD RDNA to GPU, and for in terms of power, it is 12 teraflops. What's a teraflop? Give me 1 second. I will read and let you know and kind of give you a little bit better understanding, because I know there's a lot of times where we hear these words and it doesn't actually mean something. Like you hear these words and you're like, oh, that's a cool word, and then you see the numbers like, oh, that number's more than that number, it must mean it's better. Well, technically yes, but I mean, what does it mean overall is the thing. I bet you don't know what the fuck a teraflop is. Sounds cool. Sounds like it's from the future that was in Back to the Future, but it's a whole thing. 16 gigabytes DDR6 RAM, which is actually really nice. 1 terabyte solid state hard drive. 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, optical drive, so disk drive and everything like that. It is going to have 4K support, 8K support, and HDR support. Apparently they put out what the ports are going to be. 3 USB-A 3.0 ports, which is almost a standard right now. HDMI out, optical audio out, and proprietary memory slots. So, memory cards are coming back, and Xbox is bringing them back. I'm perfectly fine with this. To my understanding, the memory cards are going to be small, just like the old school PlayStation 2 memory cards, except they're going to be solid state hard drives and be a freaking terabyte. So you can just be like, pop my memory card out, walk over to my device, go. There you go. Do you want to play my list of games that are on my terabyte memory card? Sure, let's play Halo Infinite. But yeah, they put out a whole bunch of stuff. They put out, for some god awful reason, they put out the Xbox Series X compared to a refrigerator. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Honestly, the console's not big. There were pictures that a dev showed of as far as how tall the console is. it's as tall as a Xbox One X, which isn't that tall. Like I have one sitting in front of me and it's about yay big. Which yay big on a video doesn't really do anything, but it's not that big. It's not big at all. It like everything that I saw, it was like the Series X fit inside the dimensions for the Xbox One X, which is good, which is nice. The other thing that they showed, which I do believe I have a picture of, or I have something of, or something, I'll hopefully find something for you guys to look at, is the way that they have the fans and the cooling for the Series X. Because how they have it is if you stand it up how you're supposed to, I mean, you can lay it on its side, but if you stand it up how it's supposed to, it sucks air from the bottom and puts it out the top. And the thing is, all of the components and everything are lined up in the box to where air flows through everything. So it's sucking it up from the bottom and it's flowing through all the components and then out the top. So hot air comes out the top. Don't put any like chocolate bars on top of this fucking thing. Then again, I don't expect you to do that anyway, because why would you? But yeah, like the design of it, everybody was worried, like, can it fit under my TV? Do you have it under a TV right now? Or do you have it sitting somewhere on your desk? Like most of the people I know now play games. And yes, you can argue the fact of like, oh, well, I still have mine sitting in front of my TV or under my TV in my living room. That's great. Put the console behind your TV. It actually doesn't take up that much space is my point. It's like 6 inches. Like the length and the width are like 6 inches, and it's like how tall it is like what, a foot? It's like okay, so yeah, it's like 11.8 inches. So it's like it's actually not that, it's not actually this big for a record. Don't do that. Don't. It's not huge. But yeah, it's not terrible by any means. I'm perfectly fine with my setup that I have now. If I were to get one, would I have to move some stuff around? Yes. I'll be dead honest, yes, but it can very easily fit behind one of my monitors. The disc tray is down below, or yeah, the optical drive is down below so that you can get to it where it's basically on the, it'd be easy. It fits under my monitors or everything like that. Anybody else who has monitors or a desk set up like I do, it'll be easy. It won't be as bad as you think it is, unless you make it a big deal. The PlayStation, on the other hand, as far as I know, they did not show the PlayStation. They didn't show what it looked like. They showed the specs and everything like that. And as far as specs goes, and I will be doing a comparison here just so you guys know as far as numbers. It will be having an AMD Zen 2 processor as well. Same thing with the Xbox Series X. However, it is going to have a 3.5 gigahertz 8-core processor as compared to the Series X's 8.3. So, Series X is a little bit more powerful. Let me run down more stuff and kind of say something that I saw online, and I think it was a tweet from Ryan McCaffrey. The GPU is an AMD RDNA 2 with 10.28 teraflops instead of the Xbox's 12. Still has the same 16 gigabyte DDR6 RAM. The solid state hard drive that is in it, though, still has a solid state, but the solid state that is in it is only 825 gigabytes as opposed to Xbox's 1 terabyte. Where, if you don't know what that means, like if you don't know the conversion rate, 1 terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. So for the PlayStation, you're only missing like 175 gigabytes out of that. But we don't know what that goes to. That may go to stuff inside the console that's working in the background. We don't know. It also has a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray optical drive. Same thing with the Xbox. It'll support 4K. It'll support 8K, and it'll support HDR stuff. Nothing about the ports, nothing about dimensions, nothing about how much it weighs, nothing about any of that. So there's a tweet from Ryan McCaffrey to where apparently he heard somebody explain the Xbox Series X to the PlayStation as this. Where if anybody knows cars, you'll understand. The Xbox, the Series X is a V8 and the PlayStation 5 is a V6, either turbocharged or twin turbo. Both of them basically get around the same power at the end of the day. So like you can put all the numbers up against each other, and yes, the Series X does better. As far as numbers go, base numbers, yes, the Series X does better. How much better? About as much better as it did back whenever the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out. They had the same stuff. Like, it was almost literally the same console. It's the same thing here. I mean, if you want that little extra bit of power, yeah, sure, go for the Xbox. And I'm personally going to go for the Xbox first because I support Microsoft and what they do and everything that they have as opposed to Sony. Not that I hate Sony, I'm just saying I would much rather have an Xbox than a PlayStation, unless they make another Jack and Daxter game, which probably won't happen. I just spit everywhere. But still, like they're the same console. So you can technically like, I don't want to say expect, but project that the Series X may be more expensive because of the number difference, because the Series X does have better stuff in it. You could argue that it will be more expensive, but honestly, we don't know. We don't know until they announce a price point for either one of them. They could cost the same. And almost at that point, if they do cost the same, like let's just say, because I don't see either of them being $400. If they're somewhere around $450 to $500, people might go the Series X route, go Xbox, because for the same amount of money, you're getting a more powerful console. Then again, that depends on what everybody's preference is, and if people have a problem with a rectangle as opposed to a rectangle. Huh, look at that. Different rectangle. Anyway, but yeah, it's all going to depend on price points, what people want, whatever. Like I said, I know I'm going to be picking up a Series X, maybe at launch, probably at launch. I mean, I'm still going to play the hell out of my PC. I mean, my Series X may not get any use out of it unless Halo Infinite is console exclusive and doesn't go to PC anytime soon. But we'll see. I mean, well, like I said, we'll have to see what all it does and everything. And the fact that apparently one of the other things is Xbox is having everything backwards compatible for the Series X. Everything. And Sony's only doing like a few things, like a few games and everything like that, where the Series X is, as far as I know, this could be misinformation, so please look this up for yourself. It could be everything. To my knowledge, we're going to be able to use our controllers and everything from our Xbox Ones, which is why the Xbox One Elite 2 controller came out. And like if I remember correctly, they said during the briefing of like, you're going to be able to use this on the next Xbox. Fine. Sign me up. Deal. So for Xbox and Microsoft, they're trying to make everything as backwards compatible as possible, which is absolutely great. And Sony's like still catching up as far as that goes. Sony did, I didn't see Sony's briefing. However, I've read and I've been told that like they focused heavily on audio. Like for some reason that they're really, really focused on audio, in this console. I don't know why. I thought the audio was fine for that PlayStation had. My biggest problem that PlayStation has with audio is the fact that whenever you try, and as a content creator, I find Sony absolutely just why? Because in order to, it's a whole entire thing to where Elgato had to make a separate cable just for Sony. They market it for Sony and Xbox, but for Xbox, you can make everything work just fine if you know what you're doing. If you look up the settings, or if you see the settings yourself and look at everything and test everything, you're fine. For a PlayStation, to go into a little bit, just real fast, a PlayStation, you cannot have audio come out of two sources. You either have it come through your controller whenever you have headphones hooked in, or you have it come through your TV through HDMI. It's one or the other. It's never both. For the Xbox, you can have it come through your TV, your controller, both, neither. You can customize that thing the whole entire way, and it's a pain in the ass for me as a content creator. Granted, this is a very small problem and a very small bitch that I have, but I have it nonetheless. That I basically have to kind of rework my setup in order to stream a multiplayer game from a PlayStation, because of not being able to hear people through PlayStation's party system because of how it all works. If I use Discord, it's perfectly fine. But if I use PlayStation's party system like most people who play PlayStation do, like you guys know I play a lot of Destiny. There's a lot of friends that I have that play Destiny on PlayStation 4. Why? I will never understand, because you have it for the PC and it just runs better. But they still play on PlayStation. As far as that's concerned, there's rarely anything that I can really do. It's just a pain. To kind of go into something though, to go into the teraflop thing though, I will be reading this off to you straight from Windows Central, to kind of give you more of a understanding, hopefully. So what is a teraflop? A flop is an acronym for floating point operations per second. Floating point operations include irrational numbers and decimal points, and they're much more complex than fixed point operations, which are limited to binary integers. Because of the inherent difficulty of floating point operations, they're used to measure the compute power of a particular system. Without getting into the weeds, a teraflop means the ability to process 1 trillion floating point operations per second. So when Microsoft says that the Series X has 12 teraflops, it means that the console has the ability to perform 12 trillion floating point operations per second. Reading directly from, that's a huge deal, because that means the GPU on the Series X can crunch through a lot of data very quickly. There you go. That is verbatim from the article, down the description. So like, what does that mean? That means it has the ability to, that doesn't mean your graphics are going to look like 12 times better. That just means that your graphics are good. Like, it has more depth to it. It has more capabilities. It's not just it's hard to explain. It has more power to it. The whole entire thing of comparing the V8 engine to the V6 turbocharged thing, it's basically the same thing. Like, you have all this power. The console has all this power to where it's basically a PC, almost on a PC level of graphical capability. They want to push 4K 60 frames per second. Fine, cool. Personally, I would rather go with 144 frames per second, because 144 hertz monitors, but not everybody uses a monitor whenever they game. So the 60 frames per second at 4K, I completely get, I completely understand. And I think they said some games you're going to be able to do 120 frames per second. So like, that's cool. That's fine with me. That's awesome. If you have obviously the monitor or TV or capability for it. So, overall, I'm digging both of them. I mean, I'm gonna get both of them eventually, probably, especially if there's exclusives, which there will be, that I want to play. Um, like I said, the Series X, I'll definitely get for Halo Infinite if Halo Infinite is a console exclusive and doesn't go to PC at all. Because if it goes to PC, I'm probably gonna pick it up on PC instead. Um, but yeah, like the new information coming out is pretty cool. I hope that the price points aren't too far apart because honestly the specs aren't too far apart. So I hope it's not a huge price gap. I'm hoping, and this is very stupid to say, but I'm hoping that the PlayStation drops at somewhere around $400, $450, and the Xbox is only $50 more than that. Because if I see, here's the thing that's gonna kill Xbox if this happens again. If PlayStation comes out and they're like, "Hey, our console's $400," and Microsoft's like, "Hey, our console's $500." There's not much as far as numbers go difference in the two consoles. You're charging $100 more for like obviously better stuff, but not anything that's even remotely worth $100 more. That's the thing that worries me. So we're gonna have to see. I will say this though, I'm like you guys can tell I'm a big fan of Xbox and stuff, but I don't. There's certain things that I don't like Sony for. Oh, like, and there's certain reasons why I like Microsoft and Xbox over Sony, but I try to be as unbiased as possible. Um, the nice thing is Xbox, whenever the Xbox One got announced and launched, they were not in a good place. Their CEO was not in a good place. Man, I forget his name. Who is the Xbox's CEO name? Phil Spencer. Ever since Xbox got Phil Spencer, it has been on the upswing because Phil Spencer knows exactly what he's doing. He knows his market. He knows, like, to me, Phil Spencer is like one of the best things ever to come to the console wars or console gaming community, because the man just loves video games, and the man also knows gamers. He completely understands. There's been a lot to where he's just done. He has done and supported so many things to where, like, every single time that somebody launches a new console, whether it's PlayStation or Nintendo or something like that, like, I always see a tweet from him or something like that of going like, "Congrats on your launch, guys," or like, whenever God of War launched on PlayStation, he was like, "Thanks. Now I'm not going to be able to get any work done for the next 2 days." The man loves video games and he gives credit where credit's due. There's no point of competition in him. Like, there is, but there's not. Like, he understands. He's like, "Man, you guys made something awesome." Like, whenever God of War came out, he's like, "You guys, oh my God." You know what I mean? The dude's a gamer in general, and it's just great. It's actually really refreshing to, like, to see heavily competing companies, not go at each other's throats, and moreover to be like support each other and everything like that. And Phil Spencer is like the guy who I look at and look to and be like, that right there is how everybody in the gaming community should be, instead of bashing each other over these petty console war bullshit. Just like, fuck yeah, you guys go. You know what I mean? Anyway, so pretty soon, a little bit of housekeeping. Pretty soon, I'm going to be starting to do the ads on videos and ads on Twitch, only during my breaks. I'm not doing them at any other point, just during my breaks. Maybe before the stream and after the stream actually starts as well. We'll see. But yeah, going to be starting doing that, and just giving you guys all a heads up so you know ahead of time, for those of you who watch my videos and everything. But yeah, I don't have as much done as I wanted to. I wanted to have a few things done for this. I don't, because I got sick, and now this, it's it's a whole nother thing that I'm not going to even remotely get into right now. But being sick kind of really put me back, because I was sick for like that whole entire week, almost like week and a half. So yeah, gonna have stuff up, going to be running the ads and doing things. Like I said, I'm going to try and make this as seamless and as painless as possible. If there's anything that you see that, like, if there's a problem, if for some god awful reason you think that there's an ad that like interrupts content or disrupts content or something like that, please let me know. Please let me know. Everybody knows how to get a hold of me. But yeah, going to be running ads soon. I want to thank you guys for your support, because a lot of you, like I said before, a lot of you came out and was really supportive of me doing this, and me, like, you guys know how I am. I don't do this for any monetary value. I do this because I want to entertain and hopefully brighten your guys' day. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I will see you all next time. Remember, keep your heads up and be kind to each other. That's all. Bye now.